Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Uh, Today I'm going to give you some information about virtual communication. Before I start, I would like to introduce myself briefly. So my name is Nadzila Puji Wirantika, and I am the student of English Education Study Program at the University of Sriwijaya in Indralaya. Now, I would like to deliver my speaking into some parts. The first, I will start with what is virtual communication, and then next step, I will tell you about what is it for, and I will tell you about the advantages, and then the disadvantages. I will tell you the tools to support virtual communication, and I will give you some tips to the virtual communication, and for the last, I will give you my conclusion about virtual communication. All right, let's start now. So, what is virtual communication? This term simply, in my opinion, based from the information that I got, that virtual communication is a communication that happen in online, so you don't need to meet the people directly. So, you do the meeting or you meet the person or the people via media or tools. So it could be in the form of face-to-face, voice only, written, or combine all of them together in one tools or in one media. So by means, uh, it can be a video, an audio, or a chat. So actually, this kind of condition in this kind of situation, this pandemic situation, talking about virtual communication is really appropriate because we are in a very right situation to talk about this. All right, next up, we'll talk about what is it for. Uh, Basically, of course, this is for communication, and what kind of communication? So, any kind of communication can be done with virtual communication, um, such as business, study, teaching, and learning activities, or just talk with your friends, hang out with your friends, maybe. Uh, And in every communication or in every conversation that happen, you must be have some purpose, some certain purpose with your communication, and try to fit that purpose to the tools or to the media that you want to use. For the example, if you just want to talk to your friends using WhatsApp or Google Hangouts, is good enough already. But if you want to do such a business meeting, you can use Zoom, you share or ClickUp or another kind of a website of application that have more complicated tools in it and complete. Uh, so that's it. And for the next, what is the advantages and then the disadvantages when we are doing this virtual communication? So first is the advantages. Of course, because this is online, it will reduce the feeling of boring because you can do this anytime or everywhere. And then it is fast, it is saves your money, it is saves time in some condition, and then it increase the productivity, and also it is make some space in the office free, or there is no more additional space for any workers because everything is done online. And then you can keep the record of the communication that happened in virtual. So if you want to repeat it, or if you want to replay the video, you can do it anytime and everywhere for some certain purpose. And then that is the advantages. And what about the disadvantages? Some disadvantages are, the first is technical problem, that actually maybe something that the most happening problem, because there are kind of like internet problem or the problem with the devices that we use, and it is a personal problem and related to the place where you are doing the virtual communication, whether you have a good connection there and the device that you have. And then the second is that it is lack of nonverbal communication. So it was just look like this: the face, or maybe the voice, and some hand gestures that maybe not look really clear. So it looks cold. And then the third is that uh, this virtual communication may be effective for um, some certain situation like now, but not every situation. Even if in this uh, um, not appropriate situation for direct meeting, for a crisis or a big problem that cannot be done by virtual communication need to be done indirectly, face to face, and in real time with the person or with the group. And that is all right. Before uh, we end this talking, I would like to tell you some tools that can support while you're doing a virtual communication. So some tools that maybe can help you is that Microsoft Teams. This is very good for team, and then ClickUp. You share for presentation with a client for business thing. Also can be used for usual thing, but uh, the complete item in it, that the information that I got is that this is good for business thing. And then Zoom, and then Google Meet or Gmeet, and then what else? Google Hangout, that is for friends, for some simple conversation. And then another is WhatsApp for the most simpler one. And then what else? There are so many kinds application or website that can support virtual communication. What I mentioned before is just some of it. There are so many kind and maybe very different in different country. So uh, like what I said before, just try to fit the purpose of your communication with the tools that you use. And for the last, my conclusion is that this virtual communication is actually effective for certain situation like now, because we don't really have another kind of choice to do such a conference or communication other than virtual communication like this. But the problem is that sometimes we still need to do the direct communication, real face to face with the person that we want to meet. So virtual communication may be just uh, uh, effective or really good in some condition or factors that support it. Maybe the long distance, or maybe you have far away in a different country, and then the critical situation like now that you can't meet people directly. Uh, yeah, and another kind of problem that you need that force you to do virtual communication. But I think maybe uh, direct communication or real face-to-face communication is better, because we are what we are talking to the people directly. We see directly their expression, and we do the nonverbal communication actively. So it is more it is still number one than the virtual communication. All right. I think that is the end of my speaking today. Thank you for your attention. And I'm sorry if I have a mistake during my speaking. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you.